It is 71 degrees on a sunny, breezy day, and if you couldn't tell by the tone of my voice, the pollen count is high here at Los Altos High School, where the Los Gatos Wildcats and the Los Altos Eagles have just gotten underway. My name is Mike Messner. I'll be giving you all the action. Along with me is CJ Rouleau. And CJ, what can we look for in tonight's contest?
Well, for the Wildcats, coming in 16-5, been about a week since they played. Their middle three of their order right now, the Shara sisters, Sarah and Mera, and Rosie Gomez, the 3-4-5. They're probably the scariest 3-4-5 in the Deanza League right now. And sitting on top sitting second on top, with better record than Mountain View 9-0 in league, and Los Gatos 7-2. Probably their only losses are to Mountain View at this point. And Los Altos, it's a bit of a rough year, 9-12-1, but Stefania Biliou, probably the third baseman, is probably going to be the one thing that really could help them win this game.
Now, the last time these two teams met was just about a month ago on April 2nd, and Los Gatos came out of that with a 2-1 victory. What does Los Altos need to do to bounce back in this rematch?
Well, probably needs to, besides scoring more runs, of course, probably just needs to do the little things. I mean, I saw last time I filmed the Eagles, they had a lot of walks, and it was the walks that ended up actually killing them. They walked like 6, and I think 3 or 4 ended up coming in to score. So keeping the walks down is probably something they need to do. And well, as soon as I'm talking about walks.
Yeah, speaking of which,
of the devil.
And that is Sarah Chiala up to bat now for the Wildcats. One and 0 count. This is the second batter. And that one was a little high, ball 2. That's Shelby White that is pitching for the Eagles. And Shelby leads the team in fielding percentage and a win-loss percentage, and she's higher than the national average on all of those too. That was tipped back to the backstop. Makes the count 2-1. And Shelby is not just good at pitching, CJ. She's also got a 389 batting average and a 695 slugging average, which is unusual for a softball pitcher.
Well, that's probably why they're putting her in the 3-hole. I mean, you usually don't see the pitcher batting that high, but, if you're batting this well.
And lay down the bunt, and it's a good one. Do they get the play? No. So Sarah was safe at first, and that brings runners at first and second with nobody out. And this is not what Shelby was looking forward to, having to be in the stretch this early.
Take a word for it. I didn't know softball actually had the concept of a stretch.
Well, now you know.
It's like I've filmed baseball and filmed softball, Mike, and there's no technical thing of a stretch. I used to watch Stanford softball when I was 6.
Yeah.
That was great. They had a great coach. Then he ended up getting fired, unfortunately. That was disappointing.
Now, who's batting here, CJ?
It's number 20, Mera Sharma. I love it when they all have the same names. You just kind of keep looking. It's like, oh, it's the same name again.
You think possibly they might be related?
No, because Shara's got a sister batting, or hopefully it's a sister batting right after Mera.
Well, that's why I figured they might be related.
Oh, they should
be. Call me crazy. That's my little hunch.
There we go.
And that one's high and got away from the catcher, Emmeline Gauntz. And Los Altos decides they want to talk about this a little bit. What can you tell us about the Los Altos coaches?
Well, Herrera's been here for a while, and I mean, if you look at him overall, at least this year, and I mean the past couple of years, it's probably not showing. He's probably developing a team very well, and he's definitely got a bunch of freshmen that can do the job, but I think it's just they're not doing as well as you think they would. I mean, especially with, I don't really know, man. I'm honestly like, I'm not a softball person.
Well, you said it, CJ, that, you know, this Los Altos squad, there's more freshmen than there are any other class. 4 sophomores, 3 juniors, 2 seniors. So it is a fairly young squad in all kinds of ways.
And that can actually hurt. I mean, you watch that in the especially
that one's in for a strike.
Especially watching like the WCAL and stuff, and that's why they have the freshman-only squads. Basically, it's kind of like, okay, we're going to develop you and get you ready. So when you go up against the seniors, you're not going, what am I doing up here?
But if you're ready, no reason you can't be on the varsity.
Or if you have limited tryout numbers, that also happens too.
That one's a little high, 2-1.
And it hurts when you're not, you know, the private schools, they have that edge, and it's just, you know, they can go, okay, we can develop you for 2 years essentially and get you ready for the varsity squad when you're it's like when you're a junior.
Yep. Just the same concept as magnet schools, isn't it?
I wouldn't know. It's like, I don't know. I only go to St. Francis and Bellarmine and the WCALs and Harvard, what was it, Harvard Westlake? Yeah, Harvard Westlake in
3-1 now.
Down south near Los Angeles. That's a good school.
I tell you, Shelby does not want to load the bases right about now.
We've got the DP up next, and the bases loaded. So there we go. Let's load the bases up for a 4-hitter. Oh, yeah, perfect timing. As an ex-4-hitter myself, oh, yeah, let's do that. Look at all those.
And she got a piece of that one. So that fills out the count at 3-2.
What do you think, off speed?
I reckon so. Driven in and over the head of the right fielder. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. And the throw to third is late. And that brings in 2 runs, and the Wildcats take an early 2-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. Let's see that again. Just a looper. Right over, wasn't hit particularly hard, but it did what it needed to.
Well, it was right over Albrecht's head, and she can't do much to that.
Caitlin Albrecht is a great athlete, but she's not very tall. And for an outfielder, that can be a disadvantage. And that brings in a 3rd run with nobody out.
And this is definitely what you want to do, just pound the pitching early. Just do not let up early in the first inning, especially just for everything. Baseball, softball, whatever, you know, that's basically the feel up here. You're still trying to figure out, you know, what's working and what's not.
Now Rosie Gomez. Rosie is tied for the team lead in runs batted in among this Los Gatos squad. And all the way along, if you looked at her slash line, she's above the national average in every stat you can think of.
There we go.
Ground ball to second. There's for 1. Did they turn the 2? I didn't see.
No, safe at first. So
they did get the runner at second.
So write that down, fielder's choice for 6. So we got 1 out.
That brings up Alexa Wong. Now, Alexa's a senior, and we may not be able to see from the angle, but she's also on the Los Gatos basketball team.
I haven't filmed them this year, surprisingly enough. It's like, you know, when you film enough, it's like, oh, you expect to film them sometime. Nope, didn't get to film them. Oh, dang. Because then eventually you start seeing everybody, and you're like, wait, I know you from this other sport.
Yeah. And the pickoff play at first. Runner back in time. 2 balls, no strikes. Into center, and it's caught there, bringing up the second out, and it couldn't have come too soon for the Lady Eagles, who are finding themselves 3 runs down right off the bat. That'll bring up Amber Kelly. Amber, one of 6 seniors on this squad. 225 average, 262 on base percentage.
And Los Gatos is a young squad too. And they got 5. Like they got 5 freshmen as well.
They have 5 freshmen, 6 seniors, 5 juniors, and 3 sophomores. But the thing that struck me, CJ, was just the person power that they have. I mean, just the size of the squad just blew my mind when I looked at how many people they have on the team.
Well, that's true. You don't see usually above, I don't know, like maybe like 12, 13 max, and this is getting towards, you know, almost private school level. Must have just a really good pipeline connection with some teams up there.
1 and 2 the count. In tight, 2 and 2.
I'll say this much about Los Gatos. Their campus is beautiful. It's right across from the library, and got all the woodland right behind it. So you basically walk in the campus, and there's just trees everywhere.
Hit into center, shallow center, and the fielder is there to make the catch. But the Wildcats strike early with 3 runs on a number of hits. At the end of a half inning, it is Los Gatos 3, the Eagles coming to bat. The Lady Eagles are coming up to bat in the bottom of the first, and they've got their work cut out for them already. Los Gatos has jumped out to a 3-run lead. Your starting pitcher for the Wildcats is Lindsay Chiala. She's a freshman with a 3.10 ERA, 5 wins, 40 2/3 innings pitched, and 23 strikeouts. And no time wasted there by Tessa Main. And CJ, if I'm not mistaken, that was 1 pitch, 1 out.
That was 1 pitch, 1 out. It was very quick, but, you know, you see the hanging fastball on the first pitch, you're going to take a rip at it. It's common knowledge. I play baseball, and our radio coach always tells us, you know, see that first pitch fastball, you don't jump on it and beating it with the next pitch, which was it was a pretty good inducer. Eventually you started hitting the first pitch fastball because you were just like, okay, coach.
That's Bailey Mcdermott up to bat. And that one's low and away. Bailey's a freshman, also plays on the JV basketball team. And grounded to first, and it gets away from the first baseman. And she's going to try for second, and she is going to make it. And I don't know if that's going to be scored as an error, but Los Altos has a runner aboard with 1 down.
That's the one thing about softball, you know, all dirt fields, like up at Terra Nova High in Pacifica, you can just hit a ground ball and it'll just kick anywhere.
Now there is some wind. If you want to, you know, that and Skyline College were 2 of the windiest places to play.
Skyline, my pitching coach, he's a pitching coach for West Valley College now, and he said he went up to Skyline, they're playing in hail. That's how cold and windy it was. The hail's just coming down.
Yeah, I've taught at Skyline for many years, and I know all about how cold it can get up there. Shelby White's your batter. She got a piece of that one.
You probably weren't teaching when my mom was taking classes, though. I'll say that much. Mom took classes at Skyline in San Mateo.
Shelby, I said earlier, is the team leader, batting average of .389. 14 hits, 9 ribbies. And she may be working on another one right now. And that one is off the wall. 1 run's going to score. Shelby in with a stand-up double, and the Eagles are on the board. Let me see that again.
That was a hanger. And just pounded off the left field wall. Easy coast-up double.
And that's the way you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So who's up next here?
Stefania Biliu?
Biliu, yes. There you go. Also a freshman.
Yeah, batting 4 for a freshman. That's a sign of some confidence in the coaching staff right there.
Well, and check out that fielding percentage, too. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter right now, but it says something. If you're 14, 15 years old and you're putting up those kinds of numbers, you are to be taken seriously.
Definitely.
That one's high. 2 balls, no strikes. That one just missed inside. 3-0. Now, my coaches always tell me you never swing at a 3-0 pitch if you can avoid it.
The unwritten rules are a little vague on that. If it's 3-0, your team's down a bunch, I think you are allowed to.
Well, if it's an unwritten rule, isn't it vague by nature?
There are certain times where it's okay. There are some times when it's not. The gray area allows for leeway.
Well, she swung at that one anyway.
Well, I think if you're down 3 in the first, it's like, it's early enough. Go ahead.
And that in there. That's a vertical strike zone that they're giving there. I would have called that a little low and away. Full count now.
I've seen all kinds of strike zones, man. You get the vertical, the horizontal.
And that one, 4 pitches or 4 balls. Runners at first and second. So the knife cuts both ways as Leah Lowe, whom I am proud to say I teach civics this semester, coming up to bat.
There we go. How's she doing in your civics class?
Fantastic.
Perfect.
And
I don't have to worry about that. It's like, don't have to worry about you for grades?
Nope, not at all.
Perfect.
And she wraps one foul.
Definitely a good first pitch to jump on, just a tad bit early.
Leah's got a 235 average and a 235 on base percentage. 8 hits, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored. And she asks for time.
I think she wants the signs again. One's got to love it when you just see them. It's like, wait, coach, run that by me again. I didn't quite catch it. Oh, there's the indicator. I missed it last time.
I have yet to see an umpire deny a request for time by a batter in any level of either baseball or softball. And she grounds it now to shortstop. Got one at second base. Leah's in. And we have runners at the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
And dude, that pollen is starting to kick. It's like, I think the wind and the pollen is starting to get to everybody. Everyone's coming down with something.
Sounds Shakespearean. Hey-ho, the wind and the pollen.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I thought you were civics, not poetry.
Yeah, well, my dad was an English major, English professor, God rest his soul.
There we go. I think my mom's grandfather was an English or history major. Taught at TTU in Lubbock. Not Lubbock, it's Lubbock.
No, it's Lubbock, yes.
Yeah, I know. Just I go to Stanford, and all I heard, they used to have a guy from there that's like, from Lubbock, Texas. My first reaction, I asked Mom, and she went, hey, Dad, how do they pronounce it? Lubbock. Okay, good. Now they're idiots. Like, there you go. Oh, look, Stanford does not know how to pronounce
They
Lubbock.
say paradise is Lubbock in the rearview mirror.
There we go. Hey, don't talk
Now
about paradise, man. Please don't. I'm going up there this
And
summer.
now Caitlin Albrecht, another student I'm teaching right now.
I'm not expecting a steal here. I'm completely wrong on that.
I'm afraid you were.
Yeah. 2 outs. Oh, wait a minute. It's first and third. Oh, my catching experience just went out the window.
Well, I would never try to do a steal with 2 outs.
Well, the thing is if with 2 outs, you can just gun it to second. It's like, might as well go for it, get the third out.
Yeah, maybe. Also, I wouldn't have tried a double steal either.
That's a little too risky.
Yeah. And that one is out of play.
A note to all people walking by the softball field, yes, there will be large lime green balls flying out. Please walk at your own risk.
And a note to those who have parked there along the side of the softball field, I hope you have good insurance.
I haven't seen one crack yet. I've seen him hit, not crack though.
Well, the day may come.
Probably.
Ooh, set up for bunting. But my sense is that this Los Gatos squad jump right on anything that was tapped close to the plate.
Most likely. You see that too, especially when the bunt. Everyone just creeps in. They just know it's coming.
That one is in there, and Albrecht is left saying, "What the hell just happened?"
There we go. Not the
So
worst call I've seen, believe me, but that's a bit up top.
So the Eagles are gone, but they do get a run on the board. We'll be back for the second inning. Don't go away. Look at that stand-up double that was hit by Shelby White in the bottom of the first. And Shelby leading the team in batting average. And she was a major part of why the Eagles are now at a 3-1 deficit rather than a 3-0 deficit. We're back here now for the top of the second. And there's the hit by Shelby, and you can see that came as close to the fence as we have seen all afternoon. And very impressively done. But Shelby is now back on the mound, facing down this Los Gatos lineup. And she builds a 1-1 count. She's facing Rachel Ice Crespo, and CJ, you observed something of the family lineage on this Los Gatos team. What'd you?
Three sets of sisters: Chiala, Ice Crespo, and Sharma. All have two siblings. Basically all have a pair of siblings on the team.
Now that may set a new record.
I don't know. I need to see the previous one.
But Rachel just knocked one over second base for a base hit, and that's how this inning gets started. Now Ava Curry, the co-captain of the Wildcats. Lay down the bunt, and oh my goodness. That has got to be one of the most frustrating plays in baseball, where it's got a spin on it and you're waiting for it to go foul and you don't get your wish.
I didn't know that if it was on top of the plate, they actually called it fair.
No, neither did I.
That's a new one. I thank God we got the footage for later in case anyone protests. Perfect. Perfect.
Now Alana Panu.
Back to the top of the order. That was fast.
Oh, base hit. The throw to first, not in time. Although that was well covered by Caitlin Albrecht. And they've loaded them up. And here comes Sarah Chiala.
Reached by an error last time, but I doubt that's going to happen twice.
Now, that would be lightning striking twice, but ironically, she is the on-base percentage leader of the team, .565. So getting on base by any means necessary, I guess.
There we go. How's the ops look? Do you know what the OPS is for her? No, do you know what the ops is for her?
No, I don't have that.
All right. I prefer that as a stat. It actually kind of tells you like how well overall batting averages.
Yeah, I don't think they had that on Max Preps.
I'm not surprised.
So if any of you from Max Preps is listening,
please add ops.
There's a tip, because they may have that for baseball, but not for softball.
There we go. I remember seeing someone at St. Francis, and his ops was like almost 2, and I'm like, that's good. Of course, his team right now has lost 8 of their last 9. And the WCAL playoffs are starting soon against possibly Bellarmine, at Bellarmine. Nice field, just a little tiny.
1-2, and it looks like Shelby seems to be settling down a little bit more. Low pitch handled, and here's the throw home. And they did get the runner, so they prevented another run from scoring. But Los Altos now again facing loaded bases with only one out. And your batter is Mera Sharma.
And that was the big triple that drove in the first two.
That's right. And Sarah is a child prodigy, CJ. I mean, if you look at the numbers on her, beating the national average all the way across the board.
Of course, for the national average, it's pretty low. I've seen it for all sports. And you see a bunch of guys like, oh, they're hitting 350. Oh, you're above the national average. Oh, you're hitting like 250. You're above, and I'm like, you're above the national average at 250? Like, wow, that's high.
Well, the context does matter, but anything to help our athletes.
That almost sounds like you got 1,000. Ooh, you're above the national SAT average. It's like, it's not that impressive. It's only 1,000. You're a teacher. You get what I mean, man. It's like, that's.
I'm just trying to be encouraging here. 2-0 the count.
I didn't get a good SAT score, so whatever. I don't care. I'm a baseball player. You get what you need for the scholarship. That's what matters.
Oh, got past Shelby. Relayed back into her. And we're in a 5-1 ball game. And Shelby calling another team meeting saying, what exactly are we up against here?
A very potent offense. I think they've showed that pretty quickly.
It's certainly not for lack of good pitching. Now Mera Sharma. And most of the statistics I have on Mera are for her as a pitcher. I don't know that much about her as a hitter.
Well, she singled last time up, so evidently.
Well, she's doing something right.
Well, exactly. There we go. 1.17 ERA, 96 innings pitched, 93 strikeouts, so a little under strikeout an inning.
Into left field, running in to get it. And there are two away.
Well, they've sent up the same amount of batters as they did last time. They've batted 7 again.
And Rosie Gomez is your batter. A little high there. 1 ball, no strikes.
Out of curiosity, does Los Altos have anyone over 5'5" on their team?
I could not tell you.
There we go. I'm just saying, because Los Gatos has got 5'11" and 6 foot. That's a little scary for softball.
It is.
Especially at high school. It's like having the 6'7" pitcher, and you're like, oh, hi. What planet are you from?
Well, yeah, that's right. He would throw them high. And speaking of which, out to center field. Oh, had it and dropped it. The center fielder did. And there seemed to be a little bit of collision there in the outfield. And are they going to get her at third base? Yes, they do. And Los Altos does get out of it, but Los Gatos racks up 4 more runs for a total of 7. So as we head to the bottom of the second, the score is Los Altos 7, Los Gatos 7, Los Altos 1. The Eagles are down by a 7-1 margin here in the bottom of the second inning. And that one pitch, 1 out for the second inning in a row, CJ.
Mm-hmm. Now that is lightning striking twice, my friend. That is definitely.
Well, I think it would be lightning striking twice if it went to the same player. But it certainly is unusual, I'll give you that.
Yeah, too bad we couldn't have had another F8. There we go. Perfect.
And now Jocelyn Lee. Jocelyn gets a piece of that one. Jocelyn's a sophomore, and she is also, or was, the co-captain of the JV basketball team. So you're asking about height. I don't know what her height is, but obviously enough to be playing on a basketball team.
Well, hey, you guys do have a good basketball team. Especially for the females. It's like good girls JV team.
On base percentage of 250, average of 118. Just off the plate. 1-1 count. Popped up and running in to get that, and there are 2 away.
That's just good pitching, just trying to get the...
That was Alexa Wong on the catch there. And Alexa, you were talking again about height. Now we know she is on the basketball team.
There we go. 5'5" senior, so... I'm still waiting to see if Potch is on the basketball team. That'd be awesome. It's like 6 foot, you're not on the basketball team. Okay, what else are you doing?
And now it's Emmeline Gauntz. Chopper to second. Thrown out, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down, as Los Gatos makes quick work of the Lady Eagles here in the 2nd inning. We'll head to the 3rd. It's 7-1 Wildcats. Here at Los Altos High School, it's all Wildcats. Not only is it a 7-1 advantage, but some of those runs took place on a bunt that we're seeing right here on our screen. That CJ, it couldn't have been more than 2 inches away from home plate. We thought for certain it was going to be called foul, but it just kept spinning. You could have used it as an oil rig.
Well, definitely. You know, in baseball, usually when it goes that close, they're usually just going to call foul because it's either in the batter's box or just it's in play, but it's not in fair territory. So usually they're just going to call that foul and just bring the batter back.
Yeah, and I would just call that bad luck more than anything else. But Shelby White continues to pitch for the Eagles.
Well, that wind's starting to kick up. And that's going to be a factor.
And now Alexa Wong. Alexa caught the second out in the 2nd inning. 283 average. On-base percentage of .449, 15 hits, 12 RBIs, 13 runs scored.
And Mike, I think you're talking about a vertical zone. That last pitch was on basically in the dirt. And a called strike.
Speaking of which.
Speaking of verticals and strikes, yeah.
Now Shelby, as I said earlier, CJ, is beginning to settle down just a little bit.
I think 7 runs will do that to you.
Yeah, quickly. I think you're right. Over to shortstop, thrown to first, 1 away. That might be the quickest retired batter so far by Los Altos this afternoon. So far.
Retired, most likely. I'm going fastest on base, 1st inning, 2nd batter, E4 on a bunt. That's pretty fast.
And now Amber Kelly. And Amber takes it low and away, ball 1. Amber got a .225 average and on base of .262. 9 hits, 2 ribbies, 6 runs scored. And that one is shot to left. But the fielder is right there, and there are 2 away. Who is that in left field? Tess. Tess Main, that's right. And that one is foul. But she's going to catch it anyway, and actually, I beg your pardon, that was within the field of play, and the side is retired. So just like that, we have gone through 2 3 up, 3 down innings.
Well, half innings, but still, counts all the same, counts all the same.
Well, halves of inning, yes, you got that right. So we'll be back for the bottom of the 3rd in just a moment. As we come up to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Los Altos, although they are still staring down a 6-run deficit, their defense did tighten up in the top of the 3rd A 3-up, 3-down in reply to Los Gatos getting a 3-up, 3-down inning against the Lady Eagles. And now Tessa Main, whom I believe caught a couple of those outs in the last inning, and she 1 pitch, 1 out for the 3rd time today, and 2 of those going straight into the glove of the little lady at third base, and that would be Mera Sharma. And now Bailey Mcdermott. And that one painting the corners on that one. Got a strike.
That's definitely a good first pitch, yeah.
And that one's high and away. Bailey wisely did not chase it.
Ah, yes, I always forget how much I love the softball chatter in the dugouts. Before every pitch, man. It's like you're back in Little League. As soon as you get to 14U, you're like, what's that?
Gotta love the enthusiasm, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
2-1 the count.
Little League, it's more annoying. In softball, it's like, that's part of the game.
And that one is hitting the roof of the portables here at Los Altos High School. Those portables are going to be gone at the end of this school year. They're going to be building a brand new building.
Ah, funding. Look at that. I'm taking my classes right now. They're working on a project, and it's going to be done in 5 years. It's kind of embarrassing. It's like 5 years? You've been waiting 3 for it.
Ooh, and that one's in the dirt. And that fills out the count at 3-2. And I think that one must have just rolled off her fingers the wrong way.
Well, that's off-speed pitches for you. I mean, even in baseball, you know, just get on top a little too much and just spike straight down, and you're like, ah.
And hit straight to second base, and the throw over to first, and there are 2 away. But a good battle that Bailey put up there. Against Lindsay Chiala. And that'll bring up Shelby White.
Double last time.
To the surprise of no one, Shelby leads the team in slugging. She came into this game with a slugging average of .695.
No, that's good.
That is a truly enviable number there.
And an OPS of, what, 1.1? Basically a full base every time you come up.
I think so,
that's
yes.
Good. I know some baseball guys would kill for that. It's like, ooh, I get a full base every time I come up? Heck yeah, give me that.
Oh, I know a lot of baseball guys who would kill for that.
I'm just talking high school. I'm not talking, you know, college or the pros. If you're not getting like 1, it's like you're going back to AAA.
Or single A, for that matter. And grounded, and the wind may have played a little bit of a role in that one. And the Lady Eagles are retired. We're headed to the 4th inning. Don't go away. CJ turning into a bit of a defensive battle because the last 2 or 3 half innings we've had 3 up, 3 down, and 3 times in this game so far it's been 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Music and May and both the first pitch line out to the third baseman. So I think at this point, it's like I don't think that Los Altos is giving up. I think it's just more they're trying a little too much. And, you know, team hurries up. They can actually really get hurt.
Here's Ava Curry. She's the co-captain of these Los Gatos Wildcats. And Ava looks at a strike. Ava's a senior, and I think she's one of the pairs of sisters we have here.
Yeah, let me look. No, she does not have a sister.
Oh, okay.
No, she does not.
And that one shallowly hit Picked up by the shortstop, and there's one away. And that brings up Alana Panu. Swing and a miss.
1 for 1 with a walk. I also like how she's got the the Los Altos blue elbow guard, despite her team not having any blue in it.
Yeah.
Now that's guts right there.
Well, we don't have a particularly hostile crowd, but I understand your point. Alana, a two-sport athlete. She also plays field hockey.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty gutsy sport. You ever watch field hockey?
Once or twice.
It's like lacrosse, but worse. And lacrosse is vicious.
And that one, a little high.
If you ever watch box lacrosse in Canada, it's basically ice hockey with no pads, essentially.
I believe you.
Yeah. Used to play, by the way. My coach was actually an ex-player for the San Jose Stealth.
And that one in there for a strike. Evens the count at 2-2. Alana, field hockey sophomore and team leader in batting average, .477. So take that, Ted Williams.
Hey, man, softball.
That one looped in, and Caitlin Albrecht will field it, but Alana's got herself a single.
Yes, but I think Ted Williams was facing, major league quality pitching. Now, if it was college level softball pitching .477, I will give that, because I think Ted Williams would have gone collegiate softball's a little harder than, pro baseball.
No doubt, but take the money and run.
There we go. What money? They can't get paid.
And now Sarah Chiala. And she looked at a high fastball there. Sarah will get on base more than any other member of this team.
You've got the stats, man. You did all the research.
565 on base percentage, and that one will not help it. And so the neighbor gets a souvenir.
One wonders they don't just put up a nice little net and you just catch all the balls, and then at the end of the week you just go, okay, here you go. Here are all the softballs. We can't sell them on eBay for anything.
I think you're right.
Hey, you can make a fortune off of it.
And that one in there for a strike. And I don't think Sarah knew what got past her on that one.
Big change up, and it's just a lob in there. But if you've basically been seeing all offers fast with movement, and all of a sudden you just see this lob pitch, and you're going to kind of freeze up.
Chopper to third, goes to first, gets the second out. The runner does advance. So 2 out with 1 runner on second. And your batter is Mera Sharma.
Halfway to the cycle, by the way. Triple in the first, single last inning, needs a double in the home run, and I think the home run's going to be impossible, so I think she'll have to settle for 3/4
with wind blowing into the faces of the batters, I think you're probably right. Even with a 368 average.
Yeah.
I don't have any statistics on her slugging.
Well, I'll say this much. Every time we come here, the wind always kicks up, and it's always blowing in from left field, so if you're a left-handed batter, you could probably get the home run because you could just yank it.
Well, she does not appear to be a lefty or a switch hitter for that matter.
Well, neither's Ryan Baum. I thought he was a switch hitter for years, and then it's like lefty comes up and then about lefty against him. Oh, dang it, Ryan. I thought you were righty as well.
Well, you just mentioned another student of mine.
Okay, who do you not have that's a student of yours that plays sports?
Oh, I've had quite a few of them. And that, by the way, not that we're keeping score, but that might have been the 4th foul ball that's ended up in somebody's backyard.
Yeah. Good news is at least, no one's gotten the window broken yet.
At least, no. Well, you and I are wearing headsets. We don't know.
I would have heard it. I would have seen it too, man. You kind of hear the crunch.
2-2.
Actually, that reminds me, we were playing in Washington Manor up in San Leandro for a game, and highway right next to it, and guy yanks one foul and hits the top of a car.
Yep.
It was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that one's nicked foul.
I've seen him hit parked cars. I've never seen him hit the moving cars. I think the moving car, you actually should get a little pin, and it just says, I actually hit a moving car for a sports game. That's impressive. Really? Yeah.
But only after the lawsuit settled.
Nah, you just pulled over. He just swerved, pulled over, took a look at the car, looked at us, got back in his car, and peeled off at about 70.
Goodness.
We were like, okay. Everyone stopped looking at him like, what do we do?
And now Sarah steps out. Now she steps back. That one's high, and that'll fill the count. So Shelby probably going to have to come inside for this one.
Well, doesn't have to. I mean, you can walk. To force up, force out.
And just like that.
I feel like Tony Romo. He always predicts those plays. It's like, yeah, I'm going to oh, they just ran that play. Yeah. And then NFL Network's like, you can't do that, Tony. And it's like, but it's fun.
Yep.
Because I know what's coming up.
It's history anyway. And since we like Sharmas around here this afternoon, here's Mera Sharma. And she looks at a strike.
Mera's the older sister. She's the junior.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
Ooh, swung at a not very good pitch. That was way inside.
I just had the drop straight at the end. I don't know, knuckleball or changeup. I've had to catch softball, and I'm like, I can't tell you the difference. I don't know, both of them just go straight up and straight down. I don't know. Can't tell. It's like you have to be right there.
In the center, and just a Texas leaguer right there, and that's going to score. Panu, and the Wildcats lead 8-1. As Los Altos takes a bit of a breather. And now they're getting back to work. That brings up Serafima Vossen, 300 average. She's a junior, on-base percentage at .391. 6 hits, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Or that's what she came in with tonight.
Well, she hasn't batted, just the stats stay the same. I don't think they changed just from showing up in a game.
Oh, I didn't realize she hadn't batted before.
No, she did defensive replacement inning or two ago. Actually,
and she looks at a strike.
Yeah, last inning.
Swing and a miss.
I don't know when the mercy rule kicks in, but I know that Los Gatos is going to need to keep scoring to keep that mercy rule in effect.
Swing and a miss, and she's down on strikes, and that'll end the inning. But Los Gatos does tack on a run to their lead, and as we head to the bottom of the fourth, it's Wildcats 8, Eagles 1. We'll be back. This is how it got that way. A perfect bloop Texas leaguer right outside the sand into the grass. I don't think they could have planned it any better.
It could have been in Texas. Then it would have been perfect. A legit Texas leaguer in Texas.
Touché.
But the Texas League's a hitter's park, so I'm like, what the heck? You see the stadiums, it's just dry. Ball carries so much farther.
And on we go to the bottom of the fourth inning.
We're not in Midland anymore.
Your batter is Stefania Biliu. CJ, what have we seen from Stefania so far this
so far, walked in the first. This is her second time up. They've only batted once through. Of course, Los Gatos is onto their almost third, so.
Yeah. And she looks at a strike, 1-1. The wind is playing more and more of a role in these proceedings today.
Well, good luck hitting anything to left field at this point.
Ground ball, shortstop, first base, one away.
It's like when you're playing at the park formerly known as AT&T.
Oracle Park.
I'm just calling it the China Base, and I'm like, not too many name changes. You've had 5 in
I know.
like, 10 years.
I
or
still
something?
think of it as AT&T.
Everyone thinks of it as AT. It's like the HP Pavilion. It's going to be the HP Pavilion. It's not the SAP Center.
No, it's going to be the. No, it's the Shark.
Bell,
it's the
SBC.
Shark Tank.
Yeah, it's the tank. They're in Colorado right now, actually. So.
Yes, they are. Matter of fact, I think they're playing tonight.
Ooh, Pepsi Center. Pepsi Center and Oracle. Here we go.
Swing and a miss.
Too many good sports in the Bay Area, unless you're the Giants. The A's are doing okay, though. It's kind of nice.
Well, the San Jose Giants might be doing better.
No, not really. They're getting pounded again. They haven't been good since 2014, the last year I went. I know that does not mean anything. Doesn't mean I have to show up. Showed up and they lost.
And Lea Lowe showing bunt, then backing off of it and taking a ball. 1-1 the count.
Now I'm hearing seagulls in the Los Altos dugout. I thought they were eagles, not seagulls.
Swing and a miss. Those are more like macaws, I think.
I would say parrots, but they're not repeating anything, so.
No, not yet.
Yeah, it's a little
well,
hard.
actually they are, but not as frequently.
Yeah.
That one's high. 2-2.
Better mascot than Bellarmine, at least. The amount of jokes you hear about bells, it's through the roof.
I don't doubt it.
Take my word, take my dad's word, take a couple of my teammates' words. They can tell you.
Ground ball. Second to first, and there are 2 away. And now it's Caitlin Albrecht.
Struck out looking last time on the, I don't remember if the pitch was down and inside, None of the above or all of the above. I can't tell anymore. I think I've covered every combination, though.
Just about.
Yeah.
Chopper back to the mound, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll head to the 5th. It's still 8-1 Los Gatos. CJ is kind of an understatement because we've gotten some 1, 2, 3 innings, and we've had some very fast outs so far. And despite the 1 run that was tacked on by Los Gatos in the top of the 4th, haven't seen a lot of fireworks from Los Altos at all since about the 2nd inning.
Nope, and I think it's just more the pitching's just starting to settle down. I mean, the bottom of the 1st, it was a big double and a walk and a 2-base error, and that really helped. But since then, it's just been, pitching's just been settling in. And once pitching settles in, good luck. Get that all the time in the World Series, and stuff where it's just, one pitcher settles in, and it's just game over. You're just watching and going, get to the bullpen, get to the bullpen. Well, softball doesn't really have the concept of a bullpen. You got your starters. All 7.
Now here's Alexa Wong to lead it off for the Wildcats here in the top of the 5th.
Way up the elevator shaft.
And caught 1 away, and that's how this inning gets started.
If we were in Colorado, I'd literally say that's a mile high up the elevator shaft.
Yeah, it would have been a mile high when it was pitched.
It was a mile high. It was another mile high, so it's 2 miles up.
Now you're beginning to sound like an old rock song.
Not really, man.
2 miles high.
I don't think it's I don't think that sounds like an old rock song. That sounds like an old country song. And there's probably like a pickup truck and a dog and something else. I don't know.
That brings up Amber Kelly. Amber wraps that. And it's a fair ball. She's going to try for second. And she is told to hold up there. And she's got herself a 1-out double.
So 1 on, 1 out.
And that's Rachel Ice Crespo. She and her sister Carly being 2 of the pairs of sisters we have on this Los Altos team, or Los Gatos team. Whoa, and it hit her.
Now that's something you don't see too often.
I have not seen that before in softball. And it looks like we may be calling it a pinch runner. And in comes, that's Jordan Pash, who'll be coming in. Jordan's a senior, and she looks like she'd be a very good pinch runner. I don't know. I don't have her height, but she does look like she's got a good stride. That'll bring up Kayla Katakis. And I think this is the first we've seen of her, CJ.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, the roster this deep. It's like, did we not see them? No, we didn't see them because they just came in. Oh,
Hey,
cool.
they can afford to, you know, mix it up as much as they want.
Yeah.
But Kayla's a junior.
Hasn't hit that. It's like has not played that often.
No run or and the umpire getting some more softballs because we seem to be running those in short supply. What is the official softball of this league?
No idea. So, no. I would assume Worth, but I'm like I don't know softball companies.
Swing and a miss.
Take all the baseball companies, assume they also do softball, and then add a couple. Like, oh man, Worth's the big one. I have a bat actually. I won that $300 bat actually. It turns out never used it. Still got all the pop left in it. It's great.
And that's in there for a strike, and very quickly, Kayla looking at an 0-2 count. Popped up. And that was an infield fly. And so predictably, we are now in a 2-out situation. And in comes Alana Panu. This is, I think, her 3rd trip to the plate tonight. 4th trip, I beg your pardon.
Two hits and a walk.
And that one gets away from the catcher. And the throw to third is late. And runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs.
2 singles. I'm expect. What do you think? A third one? What do you think? A third one?
I would think so, yeah.
And hey, when you're leading the team in everything but OBP, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Leading or tied. And that one may have landed on a parked car.
Nah, I missed by a couple feet. Just barely. The wind's really starting to kick, and anything hit up is just being
It's gonna
pushed.
go. It's gonna go east.
That wind is just nasty for everything.
And that one also gets away, but not many places to go. If you got first base is empty.
Yeah. And that short backstop isn't really going to help much either.
No, it's not.
It's almost as small as the one we played up in Albany one time, the Albany High Field. It's literally home plate is right on top of the backstop.
Oh, goodness.
I think we had 1 stolen base the entire game. It was like 1 pass ball, and it was like it just popped straight up.
3-1 the count. You never think of baseball as being a particularly claustrophobic sport, but the way you've described it,
Left field at the Polo Grounds, 270 feet away, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know, that's a little claustrophobic.
Ground ball. Oh, and it gets away from. And we're going to have a couple of people safe. And just like that, we're in a 10-1 ball game. And that will be scored an error.
E4. There's no error on the, there's no hit error thing on the scoreboard. It's a little
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
No, I would call it that an error. And under the college rules, that would be an error.
Mm-hmm.
And now Sarah Chiala.
Yeah, third error of the day for the Lady Eagles. And that hurts because that drives into more runs.
Especially on a 2-out when all things being equal, that would have been an easy play at first base.
Yep.
Now, how has Sarah done her last trips? I think this is her 4th trip to the plate tonight.
Reached via error. Shortstop to home. That was in the second when they had the bases loaded. And ground out to third. That scorebook update was not brought to you by anybody.
And we are once again out of softballs.
What do you expect from a small stadium like this?
On a windy day, I guess nothing else.
That's not helping at all.
We may have to get Michelle Noah, the Los Altos athletic director, may have to go out and buy some softballs.
What you got to do is, what they got to do is they got to figure out a way to get someone on the softball team to live right over there. So you just basically just ask them to go in their backyard after the game and just get the softballs back.
It's a long way to go. But
It's a little much, I know. Yeah. Especially with housing prices nowadays, man.
And that one's hit into center, and a whole bunch of people converging on it. But the catch is made, and the side is retired. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th in just a minute. Don't go away. Parts of the story so far tonight has been errors, and we've seen 3 or 4 of them this evening. The most recent one coming on that ground ball to second base and then spilling into right field where Caitlin Albrecht picked it up. And that is a key reason, obviously not the only reason, but a key reason why we're looking at a 9-run deficit for the Lady Eagles here as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
And one wonders what the runs average or allowed is going to look like. Well, my dad came up with this great thing, which was, we're in Little League, errors don't really exist because it's like you're like 10. And it's like, what's an error? You can't really count an error at 10. So he had earned runs, and then he had basically runs, earned runs, and then basically an adjusted where you take out the errors. So it actually kind of worked. It was actually kind of cool. You look at it, it's like, he can't pitch. Have you seen his defense? You're going to take that out. We're going to take that out. It's like a DPS or whatever the heck they're calling it now.
Well, I would think that, trying to do errors in Little League would almost be like trying to do errors in T-ball. I mean, it
doesn't exist, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, do you have a strikeout in T-ball? Yeah, technically, yeah, but we don't get into that.
Here is Alexis Music. And she looks at a strike right off the bat. Alexis, a sophomore, average of 176, on-base percentage of 256, 6 hits, 1 RBI, 3 runs scored. And that one down the third base line, nicely fielded, and they got her. And if we were in the majors, I would be challenging that call.
Well, they don't have challenges in high school.
No, they do not.
I mean, what they should do, at least here's what I think you could see.
And now Cassie Chu. This is her first plate appearance this afternoon. She's got a 300 batting average and an on-base percentage of 333. 12 hits, 4 RBIs, 4 runs scored.
But it's weird, once you get out of basically the middle part of the order for the Eagles, the batting average just drops straight off.
Yes, they do. Well, that's why they call it the heart of the order, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, unless you're the Yankees, and the heart of the order is the whole order. Well, not right now, though, because everyone's injured. But
no, I understand.
The old Murderers Row where it's just like, who do you have to face? No, you're dead.
Ruth, Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, yeah. And that one, straight into the mitt. Of number 50, Kayla Katakis. And there are 2 away. And Emmeline Gounce, your batter. And she got a piece of that one, and that one out of play. And those softballs are going to start piling up in that neighbor's yard.
You could make money selling them back to the school.
Well,
but,
yeah.
I doubt that. Same with the old McKelvey. Just they didn't have the netting, so you just hit them all foul, and then it's like, one wonders like, man, I wonder if those people make so much money.
They might want ask for a discount on their parcel taxes, though.
We got complaints about it, and then you're like, but we told you there's a baseball field right there.
0-2.
But you don't like the Babe Ruth League? It's great. Remember when one of my old coaches used to tell me how it used to be like 20 teams and like everyone was competing for July 4th. It was the big day.
And that one's a little bit off.
But hey, that's before travel ball and before. No, Legion ball wasn't around then. Actually, I really was hoping to play Legion ball this summer. And there's no teams nearby. Could have gone to play up 3 hours north and no housing up there, so that sucked.
And that one close, but a little low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I could talk way too long about Legion baseball and its decline in the. Well, we're officially it's Area 2 California, which is basically the Bay Area and surrounding counties.
And that one hit into, and that's going to fall, and a base hit for the Eagles here in the top of the 5th.
First hit.
After a lot of quietness, or quietude, as it were. What was that you were saying, CJ?
I say first hit in 3 innings. 3 straight, 3 up, 3 down innings.
Well, probably a little early to call it a rally, but it is good news. We'll say that.
I'll say that much.
And a pinch runner coming in. I think that might be Albrecht. He's going to be running for her. And now Tessa Main.
No, Baker's running. Say Baker in for Gowns 3.
That's right.
Yeah.
Chopper, and well fielded from getting into left field. It was stopped, but now Los Altos has runners at first and second with 2 outs. And they might, if they want to get into this game, back into this game at all, this might be a good chance to do it. And now it's Bailey Mcdermott. And that one is foul.
That's over towards the bullpens. One set of bullpens, this whole thing. I don't get it. You think you could tuck a little nice one down the line, but no.
Yeah.
Space requirements.
Nowhere to build but up.
You could tier it. That'd be kind of cool. You could build it on top, have a little stairwell going up. Probably violate like 50 building codes.
And that one is in there. 0-2.
I'd love to see it, though. I mean, I've read it. I mean, there's some soccer stadiums in, like, the Philippines and stuff where they just build them on top of the hotels. They're like, oh, we're just going to build a soccer stadium on top. Why? Well, we can't build on the ground.
And an infield single, and that one dribbles out, and that one is going to count. There might have been an interference call in the offing on that one. It was Francesca Baker who scored it. Thank you. And Los Altos now facing a 10-2 margin.
Here we go. We're gonna have a conference. We don't have the. Maybe they could use our monitor and take a look. They could use the challenge system.
Yeah, but they'd have to call the umpires in New York.
Well, we don't have any umpire. Yeah, just call the CIF office. Probably doing nothing better right now. Well, they're not making the call to the CIF headquarters, which I believe are in. I want to say Stockton, actually. It's a weird location. You don't think about the offices being in like
Stockton or maybe Modesto.
I don't. Well, then there's the section headquarters, and then you just start going like, I give it up.
That's in there. Runners at the corners, and an 0-1 count.
I prefer section 7 and 8 down south. You get some good schools down there. San Diego in the southern section, which is not southern at all because you got San Diego's the last one. So
yeah,
I don't know. We're in like District 2 or 3. I think officially it's 3 because you got Oakland and San Francisco as 1.
That one's a little off. So 1-1 count. And if you want to bring it drive-in runs, you got the right person at the plate right now.
That's your 3-hitter right there.
1-2.
Big double in the first, driving the first run, 2.
And that was a called ball, and the pickoff was cut off by the pitcher. So now runners at second and third. And a little more pressure now on Lindsay Chiala. And a swing and a miss, and that's how that rally ends. So Los Altos does get a slew of hits, and they do bring a run home. We'll head to the 6th inning. It's 10-2 Los Gatos. Run that was scored by the Lady Eagles. You can see that it was very close quarters as Francesca Baker came in, and there were cries of interference. And CJ, I think they might have had a case. Of course, the run scored, so it's a moot point, but I think they might have had a case.
Well, they might have had a case, but the umpires, I believe the correct words were, we're watching other operations at the time. I mean, would you like to sound any more like we're in a movie right now? It's like we're watching other operations. Oh, really? What were these other operations? Well, we're controlling a giant arena in the middle of the desert, and we're making sure that everyone is running around with limited supplies. Can you figure out what book I'm talking about?
Well, actually, operations, I was thinking it would be, well, we're going to have a we'll have a tonsillectomy over here, and we'll have an appendectomy on the other side.
And a major heart surgery over there. And
a lobotomy right about where we are.
That's a little scary.
Well, certainly couldn't do any more damage than has already been done.
What, 10 runs? Yeah, you're right.
No, I mean to us.
Oh, to us? Wow, there we go. I was like, you mean 10 runs on the... No, not that. All right,
Top of the 6th.
All right, now I know we have substitutions, but I can't hear any of them, so this is perfect. Well,
Shelby White is still pitching.
Wait a minute. Okay, Athens is in at second for Ahern. There's probably some other ones. I can't see them at this time.
Well, we'll catch them up. Mera Sharma is your batter. And she looks at 2 straight strikes. And if Shelby hasn't realized it yet, she knows now she's got to get super serious about her pitching.
Big first out.
That one's high.
Yeah. Other games going on today around the Dienza League. Homestead at the Bruins, Santa Clara, and Wilcox at Mountain View. Well, I think Mountain View is going to improve to 10-0 in conference, much like the boys Eagles in baseball.
Ooh, that one very high.
We just filmed the Willow Glen game. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Too bad the Willow Glen coach left in the offseason. Sam Perrano, best baseball coach, honestly, in the area for the longest time, besides probably Mark Marquez, who left about 3 years ago.
Ooh. And Shelby, perhaps trying too hard, has filled up the count now.
Now you've worked right back into the hitter's favor. And that mental shift is just complete.
And the walk. Which is exactly what she did not want to do under these circumstances, CJ.
Nope. And I don't remember what the Mercer rule is. I think it's 10, but I'm not 100% certain anymore for softball. And I don't know in high school if they run it anymore. They used to.
And that one a little bit off, ball one. Mera Sharma is what they're chanting from the Los Gatos. Base hit. That one's headed into the gap. The throw to second, not in time. It was knocked down by the second base player. And just like that, runners at second and third with nobody out. And Serafima Vossen at the plate.
Now both sisters are halfway to the cycle. This is great. I'd love to see if there's like a little note and you add first time, two people related directly by blood, both hit cycles, same game.
And we were here.
Yes.
There's another base hit, and that one's headed all the way to the wall. And two more runs are in for the Wildcats. It's 12-2. And now Alexa Wong.
I think at this point, Coach Frey is just going to empty the bench.
No reason not to.
Well, up 10, just get everybody in.
That's fouled and out of play.
And I think it might have stuck in the tree.
No, I did hear that hit the ground.
Dang. Softballs like baseballs are expensive. You get them in the big crates and they're still like $50.
Yep.
You're looking going,
That one's a little low. And that one, 3 straight hits into the gap. And that one. And she's safe. And it just goes to show you can't turn your back on the Los Gatos Wildcats, not even for a second. Still no outs and 2 runners on. And your batter was Rachel on there. Ground ball to third. They did make the play at third base, and there's one out.
There we go. That's a new one.
My guess is that that's either the athletic director or an administrator.
I don't know. I think the AD is right. Is that our AD? Is that the AD over there? I can't tell anymore.
That's Jordan Pash. She came in and pinch ran a little while ago for Rachel Ice Crespo. Ground ball back to the mound. Play is at first. The runner holds at third. And there's two away. And your batter is Kayla Katakis. And that one, little inside, ball one.
At this point, 2 more runs isn't really going to matter.
Probably not.
What do you think, 2 6-run innings?
And that one's hit out into right field, but Caitlin Albrecht is there, and the side is retired. So Los Gatos adds to their lead. They're now holding a 10-run advantage over the Lady Eagles. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, see how the Lady Eagles respond. Don't go away. Wind is going to be playing a factor, but now it's really getting to the point where we could probably generate some electricity if we needed to.
Well, hey, in the valley they got the giant things to do the wind. It's
yes,
awesome.
Yes, they do. I drove through there a couple of days ago coming back from Sacramento.
Oh, there we go. Ever stuck in the Altamont before for 5 hours? It's not fun.
Can't say I have.
I have. I do not recommend it. It's not a grateful experience. Yeah, if the wind keeps blowing hard enough, eventually you're going to have some heat going through eventually.
And now Stefania Biliou getting things started for the Eagles in the bottom of the 6th.
I wonder how this is going to affect the pitching. Evidently not.
Not so far.
I think I've been playing the candlestick.
Do you have a pitch count?
Nah.
I didn't think so.
It's not that much, though. I mean, you had 3 innings of essentially nothing. So pitch count's going to be maybe 60.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a little dribbler back to the mound. 1 away. Now batting Taylor Athens. And Taylor's a freshman, one of 5 freshmen. We've mentioned that. She's got a .227 average and an on-base percentage of .261. 5 hits, 7 runs scored. She has not hit a run batted in yet.
Didn't her sister graduate last year, send this team?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. I guess sisters do run in both sides
in
of the
softball,
family.
yeah.
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. It's like, but brothers don't run in baseball as much as one thinks.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Much more in football.
What, Bosa and his? It's like what, Bosa and all his brothers and his dad and
the Harbaughs, for one thing.
Mannings. The Barbers as well.
The Youngbloods, the Mickameyers, sure.
Now you're saying names I don't know, man. I'm a baseball man. I'm not a football man. I'm like Joe Montana.
Yeah,
Steve okay, we're good.
I'm a historian. I get paid to remember.
Cool. That's probably gonna be my major. So.
Ooh. And she didn't like that one.
Can't blame her when you're short and then you bend down and you're still getting it rung up. There's a limit to the vertical.
You can only be so flexible. And now Francesca Baker, who scored the last Los Altos run, comes up. Francesca's a sophomore. 150 batting average, on-base percentage of .293. And hits it right back to the mound, and that is how that inning ends. And we're headed to the top of the 7th. And Los Gatos holding on to a 10-run lead. We'll see if it changes when we come back. We are wrapping up here. Final score, Los Gatos 12, Los Altos 2. So, contest where a lot of fireworks early on and a hole deep enough so the Eagles couldn't get out of it. Our producer and director tonight has been Tyler Wiest. For CJ Rulo, I'm Mike Messner. Tim Erskine was our truck engineer and cameraman. Special thanks to Wynn Satterwhite and Michelle Noeth in Los Altos High School. We're here to tell you, run for the roses, but don't forget to stop and smell them. See you next time.